What is going on, y'all? GeoFlex here. In this video, we're gonna have a little tea, some of that good old Bigelow lemon and herbal tea with probiotics, and we're gonna have a tea talk. So in this tea talk video, I want to talk about dating as a trans person, as a trans man, as a gay trans man, as a black gay trans man. Dating, tea time. Come sip this tea with your boy. So for me personally, when I look at the dating scene, even when I was cosplaying as a cis woman, it was never good. As a trans man, it's not any better. It's always pretty much been lackluster for me. I can honestly say I've never really been pursued by anybody, number one. Number two, I've never really been on a date. Number three, I don't really believe in love at this point. You know, I just kind of feel like, for me, when it comes to human interactions, they're very superficial, very surface level. I don't really have that many relationships where I'm actually getting to know a person on a deeper level outside of what they put out on the surface. And then the relationships that I do have that are on that deeper level are not romantic relationships. These are like my good friends that I've known for the past 6-7 years or longer. I don't know if it's because I'm unattractive, I'm ugly, I'm not conventionally attractive, I have super big eyes, I have really, really bad acne. Is it because I'm trans? Is it because I'm intersex? Is it because I'm black? Is it a combination of things? Is it because I'm not neurotypical? You know, I have ADHD, chronic severe depression, and a slew of other mental health diagnoses. I don't know. I don't know. Is it because I don't dress, you know, in the latest fashion? I'm not really into dressing and fashion for the most part. Like this outfit that I'm wearing, I've had for like 4 or 5 years, maybe 6, who knows? I don't really go shopping. I do try to get my hair cut. I could be better at that because honestly, I should be going every week when in reality I go once a month. But then again, it's literally a pandemic, so it's like, should you be getting your hair cut every week anyways? Probably not. Probably want to do that at least every 2 weeks or longer so you can have that quarantine. But I don't really know. You know, what are the reasons for why I, as a gay black trans man, have never been on a date, never been in a relationship, and don't really believe in love? Let's have a sip of that good old tea. Nice. For me, it just seems like dating doesn't exist. Like, I've had numerous hookups, like sexual hookups, sexual flings, no significant other, no relationship, no dating, just sex. Which I made a couple of tweets on my personal Twitter today, GeoFlex, go check it out, follow me. I say a lot of shit on Twitter. And I'm gonna read it verbatim. People are like liking and resharing or retweeting it. It's kind of like low-key going a little viral, and it's kind of cool in a way, but then it's also like super sad. Twitter! So as a trans person, I feel our dating options aren't the same, and I'm done biting my tongue around it. Motherfuckers don't want to be seen in public with us, yet people have the audacity to wonder why some of us are closed off when it comes to love. Like, are y'all serious? That was one of my first tweets at 7:36 this morning, February 8th, 2021. Happy Black History Month, by the way. I wrote that because I just feel like the dating scene for trans people, at least in my personal lived experience, is trash. You know, I'm essentially running into a bunch of cis men who want to fuck me, but outside of sex, there's nothing more there. And sex isn't love, love isn't sex isn't dating, and dating isn't sex. Us having a bunch of hookups is not dating. Me only seeing you at nighttime when it's time to fuck is not getting to know you. And that's pretty much been my experience. Now, on one side of, on one perspective, I enjoy sex. I like sex a lot. I waited a very long time to engage in it, so I kind of feel like that's kind of one of the many reasons why I like it so much, because I literally waited to be damn near 27 to have sex. And I was literally 2 months shy of turning 27 when I lost the social construction of virginity. So I feel like I'm playing a lot of catch up, which is why I really love sex. But I also, at the same time, recognize that people wanting to have sex with you, it does not equate to love, dating, relationships, respect, etc. And especially if you're dealing with cis men, like, they literally fuck any and everything. So someone wanting to fuck you that's nothing to be excited about, okay? It's just, in my opinion, it's just not. That's almost a given at this point, especially with cis men. They themselves don't really have many standards for who they go and sleep with. I mean, if you really think about it, cis men literally will go and impregnate any and everybody, have unprotected sex with any and everybody. They have no standards. That's just it. They're very loose. And that's fine. If you are fluid and just out here having a time of your life, great. Make sure that you're using protection and getting tested regularly and it's consensual, But that's just it. The vast majority of cis men, in my opinion, will literally fuck any and everything, okay? So that's that. So I don't really see that as being a perk, having cis men who want to sleep with me. That they sleep with any and everything, so who cares at this point? They don't have standards. And when it comes to the love department, that's some good tea. I put some honey in here too. When it comes to the love department, again, I don't really believe in love. I think people can have attachments. People are very codependent, and that's really super toxic. It's really not a positive thing. I think people can care about folks, care about their well-being, but in my experience, love is very abusive and toxic. It has not been a good experience for me at all. Everything from my upbringing with my family, my parental guardians, to the so-called friendships I thought I had, to even the so-called relationships that I have with people now. I don't really see love as a positive. It's been very volatile, very dysfunctional, very abusive, very manipulative, and very controlling. So I have not had a good experience with it, to say the least. And I also went on to say, again, you gotta get at me on Twitter. Okay, why should someone constantly put themselves out on Front Street to be played and used? We face blatant transphobia and hate daily being ourselves. I don't blame some of us for being closed off. We have to protect ourselves. Which I totally stand by my tweets, because why should I constantly waste my time pursuing people or trying to engage with people just to be ghosted, left on red, only want to fuck you at night and behind closed doors, but we can never do anything in person, can never do anything during the daytime in public. I just don't see the point anymore of wasting my own time. Now I like sex, I will have a fling, but I'm even starting to realize through therapy and counseling that this may not be healthy for various reasons. You're using this as a coping mechanism instead of getting to the root. And that's me personally. I can't say how you're using sex and how other people are using sex, but I know for me, I could be doing more productive, healthier, positive coping mechanisms and working through my trauma instead of just using people as masturbation tools, which is essentially what cis men do, because they don't really care about the people they're fucking either. A lot of people are using sex for coping mechanisms, and it's kind of ain't no kind of to it. It's super unhealthy and it's toxic. Okay, and I'm recognizing that in myself, so I'm also thinking, you know what? I think I'm gonna do another month of celibacy, and just because I did that in November, literally for like 5-6 weeks, I was just not having sex at all because I was just kind of on this like, well, one, I'm getting ready for surgery, then I'm recovering from surgery, then I'm just not in the mood and depressed. And then like now I'm just like, what's the purpose of this? I'm not feeling any better. Like, I'll feel really good when I'm having sex because I'm getting my nut off, but afterwards I'm just super empty and not fulfilled. So like, what's the purpose of this? It's not serving a purpose anymore for me. It's just not serving its purpose. And I'm personally at the point where, like I said, I'm realizing the relationships that I'm having, that I'm engaging with, are useless and pointless, and I'm not getting my needs met or fulfilled. So I'm good. You get tired of being the hidden taboo. You know, like I said, these people never want to do anything with you in public. Y'all don't really talk about anything either. Like, it's another thing that I'm looking at too. Like, y'all not, you know, the only time y'all hit each other up is to have sex. And all of y'all conversations is around sex. And then even when you try to branch off to talk about other aspects of, you know, your life, or how are you doing today, and, you know, other things outside of fucking, it's very dry and it's almost robotic and forced. So clearly you're not talking to somebody that wants anything else, right? So you have to also be able to pay attention to that and realize that. In my, you know, personal experience. The next tweet, because I made a series of tweets that are now being reshared and retweeted and liked a lot. So many of us are reduced to sex objects and fetishes. So again, why would we, in many cases, y'all only trying to have sex with us? That's not dating, and it's always some behind the door shit. So again, why put effort into something that's clearly not going anywhere? And that's really how I feel. Like, I have, you know, like, and here we go again. Valentine's Day is coming up, and I can honestly say I've never had a Valentine, right? Like, nobody's sending me cards. Nobody's getting me, you know, happy Valentine's Day, you know, let's go out to eat. And granted, we're in pandemic, so I totally understand why these things don't exist as much anymore. But even pre-corona, I wasn't engaging in any of this. Every Valentine's Day for me is me buying my grandmother and my mother cards, candy, flowers, and like a teddy bear or a balloon or something, you know, and some roses. That's it. So when people talk about, you know, even in high school, middle school, high school, when people were, you know, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, this is my partner, this is my significant other, this is my boo, this is my bae. I never had that. So I never had a boo, never had a bae. You know, I was never anybody's boo or bae, you know. I was never anybody's significant other or partner. I never had a significant other or partner. So it's just like, again. So here we go again, another V-Day where I'm going to be at home by myself. Probably will go and, you know, I'm gonna have a nice steak dinner that Sunday. So yeah, probably have a nice steak dinner for myself, you know, probably order out, treat myself, you know, get a haircut, do some self-care. Who knows, might get a new pair of shoes. Who knows, do some self-care. Because I haven't bought a pair of shoes now in a year. And like that was one of the things that I was working on with my therapist is like, hey, you need to really start, you know, taking care of yourself, like treating yourself to shit. Especially when you're single, because you don't have a significant other to treat you to anything. So who's going to treat you? You know what I mean? And that's something that a lot of people need to come into grips with too. Like, you know, you gotta take care of yourself because who else is going to do it? But that's something to think about. Like, I'm tired of being the taboo behind closed doors person, you know? And I'm starting to realize through therapy, through counseling, through lived experiences as I get older, you know, right now is, I was having some fun with the sex and shit, but as I get older and go through things, you do want something real. I'm not saying that I'm gonna be in a monogamous, committed relationship. It would be nice to have a main person that you can talk to about various topics outside of sex, and you actually see each other during the daytime, in the light. Y'all can go out and about in public. It would be nice to have that, to have some reciprocation. To have someone that actually genuinely cares about your well-being and how you're doing. And sees you romantically, and it would be nice. So, and then the next one I wrote was, I personally don't think I will ever have a romantic love interest as a gay trans man. I just don't see it ever happening. Men, in particular, are beyond toxic and abusive. I feel we are a group that can't be saved, and I'm not wasting my own time on that mess. I've learned my lesson. So again, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm on Twitter, and I do share a lot of my thoughts and what be going on Twitter. So that's like my little shameless plug. Get at me, GeoFucks. Twitter, Clubhouse, GeoFucks. Instagram, GeoFucks. YouTube, of course, GeoFucks. Tumblr, GeoFucks. I'm on there. I'm gonna do more videos like this, and it's definitely gonna be more tea time. I like to drink a lot of lemon herbal tea because it just calms my stomach a lot. But anyways, so we'll be doing more tea time videos. Y'all subscribe to the channel. Let's keep having these tea time videos and having like real authentic conversations about trans experiences.